brought to you by Yunus and Mustafa. Today we will be teaching you about the IPA letters. Now you might be asking, what are the IPA letters? Well, they are the letters that are not normally in English alphabet, but you use them to pronounce other letters. To give an example, we can take the word girl for it. In the girl, all the letters are the letters that you can find in English alphabet. But when you pronounce it, the letter E is not in the English alphabet. So, to find them, we can use the IPA letters for it. Here, we have prepared the cards for you to learn. Now, in the word bird, look at how the E, as it writes here, is pronounced as E, the bird. Another example is the word good. In the word good, you stretch the U in it. In the example door, you use O this time and you need to stretch it. Just like in the example up. So the difference between these two letters is in the up, you use the A very shortly, but in the far, you make it stretched. Another example is the bed. The E is very short and simple. Now, for another stretched letter, there is E in the sheep. The E in the sheep is stretched compared to this one, the sheep. In this one, E is shorter than the sheep. In this word, cat. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because in this one, the word cat does not contain any much more vocabs. So you might be confusing it with this one and this one. What's the difference? Well, in the cat one, you kinda use the letter E, like the cat. If you are a visual learner, you can use this trick to memorize this one. You kinda add the letter A. Another letter is the long U, shoot. In this one, you make it longer than it normally should be. Now, if you want, we can take a look at the O and U's, because they are the ones that are most tricky. So, for this, the door, O, the letter O is stretched. Good, the letter U is stretched. Shoot, the letter U is more stretched. Now, the Shiva sound. This one is the most tricky vocab of all, because in this letter, it's normally not pronounced, but it goes in the same place with the U sound. Teacher. It is hard to see, and you need to practice. You need to practice a lot in it. You need to practice a lot for it. When we mix the words, we can realize that there are words contains two of the vocabs, two of these letters, just like the letter how. You can see that we don't use the normal A or the stretched one. We use something differently. For this sound, we usually mix two of the letters. For example, cow. If you are a visual learner, you will be realizing that this letter looks like A and this one looks like U. So in the cow, you're actually pronouncing it like cow. cow. You can memorize them by the way you spell them. Or another diphthong is the A and E. My. Did you realize how it falls? My. Another one is hair. You start with the A and end it with the R. Hair. Another one is show. You see, in this the diphthong is not really showing itself. But when you say show, you don't say the O alone. You kinda bring it up, and the letter U, letter E is therefore show. In this one, you use O and E. Boy. You can also heard it about how it is written. Boy. You don't use the O normal and alone. Or another diphthong is the word tourist. When you spell the tourist, you will be realizing that you start with the U and end it with the E. Tourists. Another one is A and E. Wait. This one is so clear to see. Wait. You spell the E and the A, but first A and then the E. Wait. Our last diphthong is the E and the Shiva. Here. Here. In the you spell the E first and then the last. You don't pronounce the R. It would be good to note that we don't usually pronounce the R in the English if it's not necessary, like the word red, because you have to pronounce the red, the R in the red. So, aside from the voiced sounds and the bunlara ne diyorduk ya?
Benim dediğim daha demin mi?
Sesle yok, constant değil, vowels. Aside from the vowels, we have also constant sounds to make up for them. And the constant sounds are divided into one is the voiceless and the other one is the voiced. You can make the difference by checking your neck. When you touch this place and speak of that word, if it vibrates, that means that sound is voiced. But if it doesn't, it is not. We can show you by showing you the unvoiced words. Like in this one, this logo represents the ch. You can test it by yourself, that saying the word ch and see if it vibrates. Chair. As you can see, in writing in the phonetic alphabet, we use their logos for it. That's why we need to memorize. Ch and chair. Ea. We use the diphthong and the ch. Another constant is the word p. P is also voiceless. Pot. Also, in writing it, you use the short O for it. The letter T. Tap. Tap. The letter K. Can. Can. Realize how didn't you stretch this word A? You used the short, so as well as you can use the short A for it. For. You don't pronounce the R usually, so take care of that. So be careful for that. Happy. As you can see, we say the a diphthong and then end it with the e. Happy. Sh, she. We don't use anything else than the word she and the long e. Sun. You use short a for it. Think. In this letter, you use t and the h together, so it makes some kind of noise like the f or sh. You push the air between. Buraları boş ver, buraları keseriz.
Tamam.
Think. You don't really pronounce a really constant sound here, but to make up it, you use t and h as mixed. Think. Now, you might be asking what this one is for. Well, this one is a voiced constant. Now, to talk about that, we told you the difference between voiced and voiceless constants can be realized by checking your neck. If it vibrates when you speak of it, it means it is sound, it's voiced. If it doesn't, it's unvoiced. So, these are the voiced ones. J'aime. Yanlış okudum onu.
Can değil mi diyeceğim? J değil mi? Can.
Jam. Realize how we use the word diphthongs on it because we don't have this. Jam. You can also check if it's voiced by your neck. Do. Again, we don't pronounce the letter R. Bed. This one is pretty simple to see. Why? Yes. W. İngilizler buna W mu diyor?
W, X, Y, Z, evet.
W mu? What W? Biz mi double U var? Tamam kaptım. W. What? Want'mış bu, yanlış okuduk
What
ya.
mı dedin?
Ha.
Bir şey düşünüyordum ama hiç şey yapmadım.
W. Want. R. Red. Late. Realize how you use not one letter but a diphthong for it. A. Late. Angry. This one is hard to pronounce, but you can see it when the word N and the G comes together. And when you speak of the angry, you kinda put something between the N and the G. To make up this sound, we have this one. Angry. Realize how it starts with not A and the diphthong. Angry. Noise. Man. Vision. Z, zoo, zoo. The. Now, you might be asking, what's the difference between this and the letter we saw earlier? The letter, this one, we saw earlier. Well, in this one, you don't really say it. Think. You kinda make a noise, something like, but in this one, you say it like it's a constant. The. Think. The. Think. Very. Very. And our last constant. G. Gum. Gum. You don't stretch it, you don't use diphthongs. In this one, there is only short A. That was all the letters, constants, vowel, diphthongs, and if they are voiced or voiceless. So, it is now time for where do we make these sounds. As you can see, this is the place where you make your sounds. This is above your neck and below your eyes. In these places, there are places like the upper lips or down lips. To take them all in once, this one is your upper lip. This one is your nasal cavity. And this one is your upper teeth. This one is your alveolar ridge. This one is hard plate. This one is soft palate. This one is uvula. This one is pharynx. This one is glottis. And this one is larynx. Other ones are, this is lower teeth, this is lower lip, and this is in total tongue. And tongue is not made of one area, it divided into 5. This one is tip, blade, front, center, and the back. And we use them for make up the constant sounds or vowels. And to make them, we also use this chart for it. There are ways of saying these ones. Like the plosive means that the air comes from this area and you stop the air and then let it go. Take care of how I pronounce the P. P. P. Or B. B. The air comes, you stop it, and then you let it release. It makes the plosive sounds. The affricate sounds. This is the sound where the soft palate is closed by the tongue, but not close as much. Just like in these ones. Another one is the fricative. This one is about two vocal organs. F, V. Did you realize that I use the lower teeth and the upper lip for it? Or S, Z. I use blade of the tongue and the hard palate. The nasal ones. They are the sounds where you use your nasal cavity for it. Nasal ones are the sounds where you make them by using your nasal cavity. The lateral ones are where you use your velar ridge and the blade of the tongue. You squeeze them together. Approximate one is the two or vocal organs come together but not touch to each other. R, I, W. You can pronounce them and see where your mouth touches. And for this reason, you need to memorize this chart. Dur bir dakika. These ones were the manner of articulation. Now, about the place of the articulation. The bible means using your lips and closing them. Just like P and B, you close your lips. Labiodental is using your tongue tip and making them close in your teeth. The dental ones. Yok, ananı satayım. Burayı full keseceğiz bu arada.
Niye?
İkisini karıştırdım. These ones were the manner of articulation. Now, time for these ones were manner of articulation. Now, we need to learn the place of articulation. This one is bilabial, which means you use your both lips to close them to make the sound, just like P or B. Labiodental means you use your lower lip and then upper teeth. F, V. You can also check it out by doing it yourself. The dental means you use your tongue tip and your teeth. Alveolar means the blade of the tongue is used just behind the alveolar ridge. The plato-alveolar means the blade of the tongue is used tip or behind of the tongue. Orayı şey yapacağız. The palato-alveolar is used with the blade of the tongue and the alveolar ridge. The palatal is used with the front of the tongue and the palate. You close them together to make the sound. The velar one is used with the back of your tongue pressed against the soft palate. And the glottal one is used by the gap between your vocal cords to make it soundable.